Hello and welcome to the first episode of the free-to-play series. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kanajashi and I've been playing the game since open beta in 2012. I have a main account. It's got basically everything in the game. Every single hero, a crap ton of premium time, a whole bunch of goodies. But I have spent a fair amount of money in the game. You could consider me a whale in that sense. So, I want to see how long and how difficult it is to get equivalency, probably not equivalency, but a good account setup entirely free to play. Now I have done this twice in the past. I had the Road to Community Warfare, which was a series where I made a drop deck for the faction play, and as soon as I get rid of these things, the faction play game mode here, where I got Thunderbolts and Ravens to play for the Inner Sphere, and the Steam free-to-play where I got a series of clan mechs, and I pretty much played quick play for that. My main criticisms from both of those was how you leveled up your mechs. Currently, and this is going to soon change, which is why I'm doing this new series, is the skill tree system requires you to have 3 of a particular mech in order to fully upgrade them. So say I wanted to get urban mechs here, I would have to get all 3 urban mechs, play them, level them up in order to unlock the future efficiencies and make them stronger. Now, that was kind of sucky because you needed to buy multiple mechs that maybe you didn't want to play. Say I had my Griffin here and I really liked this Griffin. I could just buy that Griffin, but then it would be weaker than if I bought 2 other Griffins and leveled them as well. But maybe I didn't want to buy those Griffins. So you're in this conundrum of having to basically decide what your mech's going to be and have to play it for a long time. Now, that's changing. What they're going to do is they're going to get rid of that need to get multiple mechs. And they're going to have it so if you buy one mech, you can just play that one mech and you can fully upgrade it. Which is what I'm going to do for this account. I'm going to buy a whole bunch of variety. It's like, that's going to be so great. I'm going to be able to get one of these, one of that, one of those sort of thing. And just try them all out with a bunch of different builds. First off, there's not going to be much combat in this episode. This is more of just like a getting started, setting up, figuring things out. What we're going to do is we're going to pop into the testing grounds and go through all of the settings in the game that I like. Now, this is just good information for a new player to have. It gives you an idea of why I'm changing these settings. I do have tutorials in my YouTube channel where I go over these things, and it's much more concise, but I'm going to give you reasonings why I do those kind of things here. So let's pop in. We're going to go into the testing grounds. I'm going to go to Tourmaline Desert because I like the map. And I think it's a good place to test because you have a target that is immediately at the spawn, and it's hot, so you can see how your mech will perform under a hot environment. Now, to start off here, let's go and hit Escape, and the bottom left, go to Settings. We're going to go through these one by one. First up is Arm Lock. We're going to leave that on for now, and you're going to look into the center of the screen and see that there is a crosshair. We have a vertical cross and a circle. What the circle represents is where your arm weapons will hit, and the cross is where your torso weapons will hit. Right now, I have arm lock on, which locks my arms to my torso. If I go in and turn that off, save that up, you can see that my arms now move independently of my torso. That allows me to aim higher than I would be able to, so you can see my arms way up there at the top of the screen. And if I fire my lasers, which are attached to my arm, you can see they fire up there, where now if we look at the center and I fire my missiles, you can see they fire at the torso. Previously, I would only be able to aim my lasers up this high, and I wouldn't be able to shoot something that was directly above me in that sense. So this is one reason why people play with the arm lock off. It allows for greater movement of their cursors, their targeters, that allow them to hit more things. And that's what I play with. So we're going to leave that off. We're going to go back into settings here, and the next up is throttle decay. We're going to leave it on for a second, and I'm going to start walking off, and I'll walk towards that target dummy over there. If I press down W, my accelerator is going to go and max out to full, and I'm going to accelerate and start moving forward. Now I'm going to let go, and you can see it drops back to 0. If I hit the reverse, it again sets it to maximum reverse until I let go, which it sets it to 0. Now some people use this because they feel like it gives them the maximum amount of acceleration, but I dislike it because I'm just used to not using it. People who are coming from, say, simpler shooters, not them saying like, just they're not used to the sort of mechanics of the fact that this is a tank on legs. I really enjoy turning throttle decay off, because what it allows me to do is if I press W, instead of sending it all the way to 100%, it slowly increases the throttle, and then I can leave it here. So I can cruise at a lower than maximum speed, or I can set it down to very slow, or I can put it into reverse, and I'm not touching the keyboard right now. So I can set my mech's mobility, and then I can move my finger off of W or S in order to use them to fire weapons or turn or do those kind of things, and I can feel better multitask my fingers. Something to go along with this in the key bindings, we go into settings and go to keyboard, is we have the W and S bound to throttle up and throttle down. What I like to do is go down to throttle step up and throttle step down and bind those to W and S instead. And save that up. Now what this does is instead of a very small amount of acceleration for each tap of W, it sets it at like 10% for each tap. So if I'm sitting at 0 and I tap it once, I go to 15. Tap it another, I go to 24. And so I can better adjust my speed in that sense very quickly, get these sort of increments of speed. But also, if I'm having a fast mech that has really good acceleration, what I can do is I can just hold W. You can see how fast it goes up to the top, faster than my mech could accelerate, which means I have all the benefit of having the throttle decay setting it to max, but I also have the ability to stop part way and adjust my speed based on certain increments that make me, able to do better in the game, in my feeling. Next setting here is cockpit glass. Now, cockpit glass is if we detach our cockpit and start looking around here, you can see this green haze sort of thing. It's designed to make it look like you're in an actual cockpit. You have sort of the translucent material between you and the outside world. The center has none of this, so you have maximum visibility, but you can see the color differences from here to here. If we move that around, you can see how it's all green there, and then if I let go of the that mouse key, you can see the difference in color. So you can see just basically what that does. I personally don't like having it on here. I like to have a full, unobstructed view. So now we can do that. You can see it's the exact same. All that haze is gone. It's basically just like a window tint in that sense. That's entirely up to your preferences. I personally have it off for maximum visibility. Start in third person is if you want to start in the third person camera. You can go into third person by hitting F3 on your keyboard. Although it has some limitations, you lose out on the mini-map in the center, and your crosshairs is a little hard to aim when you're in third person. Really, this is just for getting a view of your mech and looking at your sick camo paint jobs that you'll get in the future. So typically people will have this off. Disable tooltips is if you don't want things like that popping up. We can just leave that off because we like tooltips. Hide tier in the front end is for making your tier, basically your skill rating, not show up in the front end. That's if you're a streamer and you don't want to show off that you're a complete potato. You can hide it there. Directional arrow is this thing down here. So you can see that directional arrow is showing which way I'm pointing. So this is a useful thing for a new player because they may not be used to the idea that I can twist away with my torso, but then if I press forward, I'm not going to go that direction. because my torso is like a tank's turret, and the legs are like the treads. So you can have this on in order to show which way you're pointing, but I personally like to turn it off. Next up is cockpit monitors. Cockpit monitors are these little doodads down here. So you can see they're just little animations, you know, showing off little stuff. There's also the monitor here, which shows how many kills you've gotten so far. And if we turn those off, it just basically turns off those animations. Nothing really special about it, but it'll turn them off so they're not distracting you. I just like to leave them on because they're cool. They're nice little additions to the game. Next thing here is FOV. We currently have it as 60, and I would suggest increasing this to between 80 and 90, and I'm going to show you why. We're going to march over here to this mech, and we're going to set it so that he is just barely outside of our field of view on the left. Okay, we just can't see him. Alright, we're going to go into our settings, and we're going to raise this up to, I like to do about 80, 85, so we're going to raise it to 85. Now you can see, I can actually see that mech now. You can see how much more I can see on my peripheral vision. I can actually go way over to here now and still see him, where before I wasn't able to see him here. So this allows you to see more mechs on your flanks that could be coming to get you. Now keep in mind, don't go crazy with this and set it to 120 or anything like that, because you get this horrid fisheye view that just is completely wrong, and I will never record any videos like that. But it does allow you to see off to the side. So somewhere between 80 and 90 I think is a good value. I do 85. While we're still here, sensitivity. Now it is much better to set your sensitivity way lower. I say somewhere between 0.2 to 0.3. So I'll put it at 0.3. I think my main account's 0.25. We'll see what happens. And this allows you to have finer adjustments. Now you will have to move your hand much more in order to twist your mech all the way around, but at longer ranges you'll be able to be more accurate with your shots, and you'll increase your damage, because if I had full sensitivity, I save that up, and I'm trying to, say, target this guy as I'm running by, it's really hard to put my lasers on one component, because each little movement is a large adjustment. It's not a small adjustment. See, I'm trying hard, and I played this game a lot, and I have good experience, but all those little adjustments there, those ones that make it bounce across the entirety of the mech, if I put it down to 0.2, 0.3 sort of thing, when I'm do this again, I can keep those on one section. And I can do all the damage in one area of the mech, and that's much better. So that is why people put their sensitivity down way low. Achievement notifications, if you get an achievement, it'll pop up here. Team chat, faction chat, lance chat, call to arms. I'll show you call to arms in the future. That's a community warfare thing. But you want to enable all chat, so you can hear what your enemies are talking about. Sometimes they might be toxic, but most of the times you want to be able to chat with your enemies and say, like, hey, that was a good match, or good game, or good luck, have fun, that kind of thing. Let's see, what else is here? The colorblind friendly reticule. So we see currently we have the cross and the circle on our reticule, and when we hit, it turns red. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn on colorblind friendly reticule, and now when we hit, the crosshair actually changes shape and adds those secondary lines to it. Now it's not truly a perfect thing for colorblind people, they may still have trouble seeing that, but I find it's easier to tell that you're actually hitting if you have that change in reticule shape. So I like to have it on even though I'm not colorblind. Next up is audio. Set it to whatever you want, but in here, enable VoIP, because you're going to need it. You want the playback device to be whatever the default, and the capture device to be, personally, I have a Yeti microphone, so I'll use that. Turn that on, because VoIP is a very important part of the game. Other than that, front-end sounds are these little, like here, if you listen, little sounds when I pan over menu options, stuff like that. That's front-end sounds. command dialog is the just save changes. That is when you use the command wheel, which I'll go into in the future, but say enemy spotted.
Target spotted.
I believe that's what that one changes. Also, the game mode dialog is a guy will announce when you're going into a game mode, alright, men, escort the friendly VIP to the target extraction area, that kind of thing. They'll give you basically a little briefing. Moving on to video settings, there's only really 3 video settings that actually matter in this game. Everything else just affects how things look. But 3 settings actually affect how you play, and that's very important. I personally set everything to low, except for object detail, texturing, and environment on very high. The reason why I do this is because these settings affect how things draw. So what I mean by that is if I save that up and pop back into the game, this will take a second because it's changing texture sizes and stuff like that. In the distance, say there was a divot in the terrain. Sometimes that divot may not render. It may look like it's all the way across. Or maybe a divot is rendering, but there actually is terrain there. That is being affected by those 3 things. You want to have those maxed out because sometimes there's going to be some piece of terrain that doesn't render properly and you're going to think you have a shot, but unfortunately you don't, and you're actually going to hit the terrain. That is why I have those video settings maxed out here. Everything else on low to get the max amount of FPS. I need a little bit of an upgrade to my computer, and hopefully in the future I can turn these up. But you can also put shadows to medium if you'd like some shadows and stuff like that. So we'll leave this as our video settings. Next up in keyboard, you can do things however you like, although there's a few things that I enjoy doing, which I'm going to set up now. There is a zoom, which I showed you there just before, and that is activated by pressing Z. And where is it? Here we go. Toggle zoom mode. And personally, I don't like it. I don't like the toggle zoom mode. What I like is set max zoom level. And what this does is I bind it to F, just because that's what I'm used to. And instead of going one step then another step, it just goes straight to the max step. So I find it's quicker. It's more, not set zoom, toggle. It needs to be toggle maximum zoom. There we go. Wrong one here. If I don't have that toggle instead of the set, I can't zoom out. So this way it just zooms in the full way immediately and is much easier that. You can get all that good. Now the rest of them, like toggle zoom level, I think is a good one. The rest of it you can set up as you wish because it's your own mech. We want to you can control it as you wish. Other things, jump jets are spacebar, full stop is X. Other stuff I like to do is you can set up individual consumables. So things like UAV I like to set to my middle mouse button, so that I can use that on my mouse without having to move my hand. Same here for mouse 4 for the airstrike. Cool shots I like to set to C. Mask, instead of left alt, I like to go left shift in order to have it more like a sprint button. But you can change these however you want. And ECM mode is that. Cockpit light is period. Power. Good, everything else looks fine there. I'll probably run into a couple issues here and there as I get used to playing the game on this new account again. But yeah, that's basically the settings that I like in the game. You can set up a controller, but keyboard and mouse is much more accurate. And I think we're going to get into one match for this video, just a sort of the inaugural match. So let us quit out of here, go back into the main menus, and see what we have available to us. Now, one thing we have done is gone and done the tutorial, the Academy, and it gives you actually a fairly good chunk of cash. It gives you 5 million if you do all the achievements in there, along with your sort of new account creation and something called the Cadet Bonus, which is a massive boost to income for your first 25 matches. At the end of 25 matches, I should have somewhere between 15 and 20 million C-bills in order to buy my first mech. But until then, I have to rely on the champion mechs, the trials. And these are the selection of trial mechs we have available. I'm going to go through every single one of these trials and do a video with that trial as the focus and talking about how to play that trial mech. For now, I think I'm just going to get into the Hunchback 2C. Just for this one episode, we're going to have the one match instead of two. And sort of I think what I'm going to do is like two matches per episode. Maybe three, depending on how long they go. But for now, I'm going to get into this Hunchback 2C, and we're going to drop into our first ever match of the new free-to-play. Let's go. Alright, so we've got a map selection, and what you can see here is we have different maps we can vote on. I personally would like to see Tourmaline Desert or River City with this mech. Frozen City is okay, and Polar Highlands is bad for us. So I'm going to vote River City, but we're going to get Tourmaline, and I'll vote for Escort, but we're going to get Conquest. So I didn't get my choices on either of them. However, what that does is in the next time I vote, my vote is going to count for more. So if I keep missing the game mode I want to play, eventually I'm going to have such a high percentage, a high multiplier, that I can just vote for it and just get that no matter what I do, which is great. Now, we're going to load in, and this game mode is Conquest. I'll talk about all the game modes as I run into them. You have to collect resources at various points around the map, and there's 5 of them currently. You have to go in, you have to get to those locations, you have to stand in them in order to capture the point, and then you'll start getting ticks for your team, getting points. We're going to say to the opponents, good luck, have fun, and we're going to get ready here. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to drop in. If not, I'll cut right to where the match starts. Alright, here we go. We're starting the match in 2, 1, 0.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Command to warriors. Capture resources and wipe the surface clean of any enemies.
Alright, so we have our goal there. Capture resources and wipe the surface clean. What I did there as I was dropping is I quickly changed around my weapon groups to something how I like them. Now, you can do that using the arrow keys and right control. Arrow keys to move around where you're selecting, and then right control to toggle it. But we're going to move forward here into the center. We have locusts pushing up on us, which are the bane of my existence in this game. And, this is going to be interesting. This is me as a max level pilot going in on a brand new account and seeing what things are like, and the play is going to be different. This is like a clusterfuck already. I'm out of here. I don't want to fight this many guys. I have no support here, so we're going to retreat back. What's going on? Okay, we're retreating back. We got into cover here. We have incoming lerms, but they have lost lock. Okay, let's see what we can do here. This is interesting. Okay. Come here, you little locust. Hey, I got his leg. Excellent. That is the best way to kill lights is to leg them. And I lost an arm. What is shooting at me? Hey, medium assist. The locust has died. We'll kill that locust there. But we overheated. We shot too many of our weapons at once. There's a Stormcrow here. We'll rely just on our cannons, as this mech is toasty. Oh my god. This mech is toasty. I'm used to mechs that are fully upgraded and all their upgrades and heat efficiencies and all that kind of stuff. And this mech has none of that. But he's dead. Excellent. We're getting all these assists. We've got 3 dead on the enemy team, 2 dead on our team, so we are winning in that sense. But the opponents have more caps than us, which is not good at all. We got a bushwhacker coming in, put some fire down range. This is the most recently released mech, and it's only available right now for real monies. We're gonna push in on him. Oh, he missed us. Let's see what we can do. Let's go get him. I feel like we can go get this guy. He doesn't have much for a close range firepower, so we're just gonna go straight through his back and use our cannons. Now, you can see his side torso is quite low. I'm trying to aim for it, and that takes him out quicker. As I knew he had a certain engine type that makes him die with a side torso loss, so that's why I aimed for it.
Pretty sure they didn't see us.
But this is a little bit of a... It's actually kind of interesting, me being, I don't want to say I'm the best pilot in the game, but I am definitely on the upper echelon, I would say. And it's interesting to play down at this level because I honestly have no idea where anything is happening, because the normal strategies I would be used to don't exist at these levels. But we're going to just move forward and fight whoever we come across. There's a Marauder here, which is a 75-ton IS Heavy, that we can try to go and fight, although we are only a 50-ton Clan Medium, so we might have a little bit of trouble with him. But we're going to pop up here. He looks like he's charging right into our team, so we're going to be added damage here as our team is taking him out. And we've got incoming missiles here. The Lerms. We're going to drop back down and dodge those Lerms. Excellent work. Those LRMs won't get us today. We got somebody shooting up our Tootsies. Come on, get around that corner. A guy up there. Alright, good to know where he is. We're just going to move forward here, try to pop this Marauder's side. And once we pop that side, he is basically neutered. Although things aren't looking good. Our guys are getting pushed in here. Got a direwolf there. There's a 100-ton Clan assault mech. And we're getting attacked. No! We just don't have the weight to carry. We don't have anything. Let me escape. This is like the craziest escape ever. Why am I not getting shot at? I have no idea. But we might lose our first match here, and I think that's okay. I need to get a better mech. A Jaeger mech up there. Very interesting. Oh, he fell down. And I'm overheating. Oh, I'm going down. And I died. Unfortunately, I got taken out, but I had 697 damage. Let's see how long this is going to take. We have 4 more allies left. And let's see here. We got a Crab with some large pulse lasers and medium pulse. We got a Raven 3L with 2 ER larges. Ooh, if played correctly, this guy could win us the match. And we have an Ebon Jaguar with an Ultra 20 and 2 large pulse lasers that has no damage on him. Where has he been in this entire match? And where is he looking? Shoot the opponent! Fire your lasers! He's just been probably running around capturing the entire map when he should have been keeping his 65 tons on the front line in battle. And he's going to go down here really quickly as he's turning his back to the majority of the opposing force while trying to take out the single cataphract. But that is alright. What do we got here? The Crab, the Ebon Jag, and the Raven left. Crab is still relatively fresh, although he could go down here pretty soon if those Lerms are allowed to survive. And our Raven still running around being a little pest in the distance. Now the thing about Conquest is the game isn't over when you die, because it's all about capturing those points. So we have 485 points compared to the opposing's 425 when I started talking there. And this Raven going in and capturing Theta puts more points onto our side. So the opposing forces have to spread out and capture locations, not destroy mechs, in order to win this. But this Raven is the last mech alive. No, still got the Crab, who is probably not going to last very long considering the enemy assault mechs are moving in. Oh man, I so need to take in some more weight into a future match so I can carry things. But look at that Hunchback 2C with lasers! All the Lerms, it's incredible. And this guy's overheated. He's probably going to go down here. He does. But we still have this Raven 3L that is a sneaky mech because it's got Guardian ECM down here. It gives it ability to hide it from sensors. And we have got a massive lead on the capture points. So as long as this guy doesn't run into the opposing forces, we could win this. All we need is 750 points. We've got 600 and just shy of 620 right now. This could happen. Although what he needs to do is continue to capture points, continue to contest points. It's not pretty light. They had two Highlander, a Direwolf, and something else. Not pretty light. So we can do this. Come on, we can win our first match, even though we died horribly. We just need another sort of 60-70 points here. As the opposing team needs to entirely spread out. Looks like at that speed of capture, they all went Theta. That is not going to win them the game. They needed to immediately all spread out across the map. This guy really should just run for Sigma, capture Sigma, and most likely that's going to be it. And we're probably going to win this, based on the amount of points we have. This guy just, even if this guy dies, we don't win unless the computer can analyze the fact that guaranteed the opponents are going to capture enough points in time. So that's it. We're going to win this match. GG to our opponents. Yes, even though I died, we win. And we get our first thing. It has begun! Because we got our first win on our account. Excellent! And we also get the achievement that like everybody on your team except one died, yet you still won. We got 216,000 C-bills, plus our cadet bonus. Got 697 damage done. Unfortunately, 14 team damage, with 1 kill, 6 assists, 3,700 XP earned, along with the first victory of the day. We look at the team stats here, and yes, I was on top of the team in terms of damage done. Excellent! Let us move on from there, and just head back to the mech lab. We're going to see how much money we have made from that cadet bonus, and also take a look at the redeeming items thing. So we have the title of Survivor, we have the It Has Begun achievement, the cadet bonus, the Sharing is Caring, which is getting a certain amount of assists, I believe, in a single match, and the beginning of a medium assist. So we got a good smack of C-bills here, almost an entire million. And we can load back in and see our results. Come on. Sometimes it takes a moment to load. And from our 5 million, we are now at 6.16 million. So yeah, you're going to make a fair amount of C-bills in the next few matches. But that'll be it for the first episode. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the series. And as always, good hunting.